Hello and welcome to the GSBC podcast. I'm your host, Matt Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing, and this podcast is brought to you by the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce. Today I am joined by Martin from BizGuard, familiar face for everyone in the Springfield Chamber, and today we're going to talk, a little bit about background about BizGuard, but we're also going to talk about your award win from the Chamber. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, so let's start off. Obviously, congratulations on winning the Media and IT Award, but let's start with your journey and what led you to the world of IT and cybersecurity.
I think I was pretty much born with a computer keyboard in my hand. So I don't know that my journey to IT has an exciting backstory. But I've always been drawn to technology, and for me, it's always been the intersection of people and technology that's been really fascinating. I was never so interested in the programming side of things. I was more interested in how can I make a thing a person wants to use. How can I troubleshoot the person, more so than the computer. So I guess for me, that was always, the attraction. And I guess that's why outsourced IT was attractive as well, because I didn't want to have to sit in a back room somewhere and just be left alone by everybody.
Downstairs.
Yeah, exactly right. That was never very appealing. I liked the fast-paced nature of being able to help lots of different people in a day and have access to lots of different types of technology.
Yes.
So,
yeah, definitely. All right. So obviously BizGuard has become a trusted name in protecting business online, also protects the Chamber. What inspired you to start a company, and focus in that space, more around the cyber?
Yeah, I think I was kind of done with the IT industry actually after my previous business because I kind of felt like I'd done it all. I'd seen it all. We grew that company up to be pretty decent size. Supporting corporates and enterprise and government and that kind of thing. But I kind of felt when I was looking at, what am I going to do next, that there was this kind of gap where I was really missing working with small businesses. Yep. So at first it wasn't going to be an IT company, but I knew I wanted to work with small business owners. That was kind of a focus. But then I realized very quickly that there is a massive gap still in the IT and cybersecurity space for small businesses.
Yes.
And a lot of the focus and the money is going into enterprise and government, bigger business. Even the mid-market has gotten to a point where they're spending and getting the results of that cybersecurity investment, but small business owners are still kind of left in the lurch, not knowing what to do. So I thought there has to be a way to solve that problem.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. And you are.
I like to think so.
You are. All right, so I guess many businesses do underestimate the importance of cybersecurity. We see it all the time. But what's one thing you wish every business owner understood about their digital security?
I think the key thing is a lot of people still have this perception that cybersecurity is all about having your antivirus and having a firewall, and people still think very digitally about security, but that's not really reflected in what we're seeing in the wild.
Yes.
The vast majority of cybersecurity breaches actually come through people. It's from people clicking links, people running programs, people doing the doing. And so I think what most small business owners don't quite realize is the amount of investment required into not just equipping their people to make better decisions, but also investing in the right technologies to help support the people.
Yes.
And that's really kind of been our approach, is to make it people-centric. Yep. So it's never been focused on how do we protect the server, protect the firewall. Those aren't really small business problems for the most part. Yes. It's how do we help with stopping someone from clicking that link? And if they do click the link, how do we make it hard to enter the username and password? If they do that, how do we detect they've done that? So making it people-centric is the key.
Yes.
And I think a lot of small business owners are still very much focused on making sure they've got the right antivirus, rather than investing in some training for their people.
Agreed. Amazing what people will click on sometimes, honestly. All right. So obviously technology is moving very fast. I mean, AI, I think 2-3 years ago was kind of just a blip there. Toy. And now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, everyone's embracing it. But how does BizGuard stay ahead of the curve when it comes to the latest cyber threats and solutions?
So there's really a couple of things. I mean, you sign up for all the newsletters and you know what's going on, but at a deeper level, we have some fantastic vendor relationships. So we don't do everything ourselves. We say we have a security operations center, but that's actually a partner that does that.
Yep.
And they also provide us a lot of intel and a lot of information about what's going on out in the wild. So we get a lot of the data through from that. And they also, are large businesses that invest in keeping their people up to date and keeping their service relevant as well. It's something where I think if you're starting a cyber business today and try to do it all by yourself, you will fail. So it's really where can we leverage the best resources that are out there, and there really are some great resources available. but then also contextualize that for small business, because
Yes.
not everything makes sense in small business world.
Agreed. I think it's important to understand too, as a business owner, and for anyone, I'm probably going a little bit off here, but I think it's important. You hit a good point there. You can't be good at everything to everybody. So utilizing
Absolutely.
people who are very, very good at what they do to support your business and your objectives, to support your clients, is, I think, very important. I think we need to see more of that. Collaboration is very important. All right. So you often work with small and medium businesses. I always struggle on that word, businesses. This is going to be one of my outtakes, I reckon. What's the most common mistakes you see when it comes to managing IT or security?
I think probably that, well, I mean, it's easy to say people try to do it themselves and they should be outsourcing to an expert, right? There we go.
Yes.
There's my sales pitch for the
Yes.
podcast. I think fundamentally what people don't really grasp is the rate of change. And it's something that we're going to start seeing more materially with AI becoming more mature.
Yes.
But I think most business owners are only just starting to play with AI, or they're implementing some AI tools. And what's going to happen is, we're entering a world where it's going to be a faster rate of change than we've ever experienced.
Yes.
And it's going to be disruptive to the fabric of our society at the same time. And simultaneously, it's never been as hard to tell reality from fiction.
Yes.
With AI generative tools getting so good at generating videos and deep fakes and all that kind of thing. And I think what all of that comes down to is those same tool sets that business owners are struggling to try to figure out where they fit into their businesses are also available to people who have malicious intent. And so we're starting to see AI-powered threats coming through, and they're not always something that is really. I guess people think maybe like it's this techie thing, like some virus that they build, and that'll probably come. But it's just writing phishing emails that are picture perfect to the real thing, and have links in them though that take you to dodgy places, rather than it being something where you can just kind of tell from the bad grammar that it's clearly not real.
Correct.
That's gonna be an emerging threat, and I think just keeping in mind that this is a movable feast and it is moving really, really quickly. And again, having your Norton on your computer isn't really going to cut it for a very long time.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. All right. So I guess beyond the tech, BizGuard is known for being approachable and easy to work with. How do you keep that human touch in such a, I guess, high-tech field?
Oh, look, it's really a core differentiator. I mean, one of the things that I've always developed in my career was those people skills. Sort of coming back to my origin story, I guess, being fascinated with people as well as technology. But the difficulty then is, how do you bake that into a business model that can then keep doing that and not just being me doing it. And so really the whole design of our business is, how do we make empathy a core part of our offering? And how do we ensure that everything from the business model itself, from a financial standpoint, right down to the product offering and how we do what we do, all has that empathy kind of woven through it.
Yes.
And really, I think that's been the key as to why it's resonating with people, because they're going, well, hey, now we have, there's the old joke, right? How do you tell the IT guy's an extrovert? He's looking at your shoes instead of his. We want to aim a little bit higher than that, right?
Yes.
So for us, it's really about how can we be the people in IT?
Yeah. Agreed. And I think you offer a very approachable service. I like the fact that I can pick up the phone and just tell it like it is with you, and you're not offended. So it's great. All right. So we'll switch over to the award now. So the Media and IT Award, a big nod to expertise and innovation. What does this recognition mean to you and your team?
Look, it's always a fun mind game when you're in your own business and you're never quite sure how to measure success. Because yes, you do surveys and they come back positive, and customers are willing to say nice things about you in public, and that's lovely. But you're kind of there going, but is it real? Are we actually doing a good job?
Yes.
So having independent validation is obviously really, really meaningful. And from an external perspective, it's that independent validation as well people trust, because you see customer reviews online, but you can curate customer reviews. You can kind of like just not ask the customers that will give you bad reviews, right? So it's always really, really hard to tell what's real. And I think the award is just a great independent validation that what we're doing is resonating and working.
Yeah, agreed. And I guess the IT industry, most of the time you're sitting behind the scenes. So I guess, how did it feel to have, your impact that doesn't really get acknowledged all the time being seen and promoted within the local business community?
Look, it's really been awesome. And I think one of my core business philosophies has very much been how can we make this a different kind of IT business.
Yeah.
So a lot of my business decisions are based on what would a conventional IT company do, and now let's do the opposite.
Let's do different.
And one of the things is you don't see a lot of small IT companies winning awards these days.
Yes.
It's not really a thing.
Yep.
And so to me, that's a validation of the fact that we are differentiating from the norm.
Yes.
And the ability to put ourselves out there and to say, hey, we're actually doing something fundamentally different is really, really key.
Yeah, agreed. I think you are doing something different, and I think that's what's attracting a lot of the business that's heading your direction. So, all right. So, quick fire questions. We introduced this as a new thing. It's to get to know the person in the chair. So, coffee or energy drink?
Coffee any day of the week.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Windows or Mac? I think I know the answer to this.
Oh, that's a tough one. I want to kind of like sit on the fence and say both. So Windows when I'm doing techie stuff or multitasking, but if I need to focus on what I'm doing, I use my Mac for that and just unitask on that.
Mac all the way, but we're marketers, so that's what we do. Favorite tech gadget right now?
I'm not a tech gadget guy. I'm a weirdo when it comes to that. IT, right? I should be a gadget guy.
Yes.
I'll tell you, probably the one actually that gives me the most bang for buck is my AI note taker.
Yep.
The ability to just focus on my meetings and not have to scribble.
Right,
Because I can't multitask,
100%.
right? It kills me. That has been actually a game changer.
Yep. Okay.
That's my gadget.
All right, because most people just ring you in this scenario. The first thing you do when something doesn't work.
Turn it off and on, honestly. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason.
Advice. Yes.
100%. It fixes things like 80% of the time. If you've got to do it more than like one, if one time, I'll forgive. If you've got to do it more than once, all right, let's have a look at it. But oftentimes you just reboot it and it never happens again, and let us never speak of it.
Yeah. All right. So the
Following my own
on-off
advice.
thing is great.
Yeah, for sure.
Off and on, sorry. And one word your clients would use to describe you.
I've heard so many.
Good
In a good way.
Good ones.
Good
I was going to say good ones.
Good ones. I don't know. I'm gonna come back to empathy and say maybe empathetic. It seems to surprise people that an IT person actually cares about how you feel about what's happening, and sometimes support calls end up becoming therapy sessions. But yeah, I think when I think about actual like client reviews and stuff, it all centers around that empathy message.
Yeah, definitely. I would say understood. I'm one of your customers.
Yeah, okay.
So
There
I
you
would
go.
say understood.
Yeah, I should have got you to answer that one.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I could ring you and you go, yep, nah. So, all right. So let's wrap things up. I guess cybersecurity is always evolving. What's next for BizGuard, and what can local businesses expect from you in the coming year?
So we're rapidly growing, and one of the key things is that I absolutely don't want to compromise on the quality of what we're doing as we grow.
Yep.
So there'll be a lot of business structure built out around how do we maintain that growth as well as maintaining the quality of what we're offering our clients.
Yes.
But one of the other things is that we're very big on education, very big on helping in the community when it comes to cybersecurity, even for people who are not clients. And so there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out early next year that we're working on right now.
Yep.
Which is going to help, I guess, bring more people into our sphere where we can be giving advice, at low or no charge especially for business owners that just can't invest the dollars, or maybe they're just starting up, but they need something which is going to be better than nothing.
Yeah. All right. That sounds interesting. I guess finally, I saved this for last. What advice would you give to a business owner listening today who wants to improve their cybersecurity but don't know where to start?
Well, I guess I could say go to bizguard.com.au. No, so
correct.
I think the key thing is don't think of it like it's an IT expense, right? Cybersecurity is rapidly transforming into the next business need.
Yes.
So it's similar to how you wouldn't dream of running a business without having the right insurances. You have your work cover, you have your OH&S sorted. Cybersecurity is just becoming the next layer around that, and it really is going to become a non-negotiable very, very soon, if not already.
Yeah.
And so even separate to whatever IT support you have or whatever your IT budget lines look like, I think cybersecurity is going to be its own thing when it comes to how you're budgeting for your business.
Agreed. I think it's fundamentally important. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's it from us. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of the GSBC podcast. And thank you for popping in, Martin, to have a chat.
Absolute pleasure.
Make sure to like and follow us on all of our social media channels.